Radial nerve floss is the next one. This one is excellent for anything carpal tunnel. I've yet to find somebody who has carpal tunnel and this didn't resolve it. I might choose a couple of additional exercises that are more specific for certain vertebral junctions in the neck to go along with it as accessory exercises. But this one is very specific for carpal tunnel, and it's always at the top of the list for resolution of carpal tunnel. Now keep in mind, if somebody stands and sits like this all day, we're not going to out-therapy that posture. Okay, so we still want to address these other lifestyle variables and ergonomics like we touched on before. Let's come over here, gather around a little bit, if you don't mind. And I'm going to use a wall, because all you need for this one is a wall to demonstrate, and I don't have lots of options, so I'm going to use this one. So what it's going to look like is I'm going to spread my fingers like this. When you spread your fingers, that's called splaying. So if I say that word, you'll know what it means. I'm going to splay my fingers or spread my fingers, and I'm going to put my hand flat on the wall. Anybody done this with me before? Okay, so I'm just going to start like this. And this in itself, keeping a flat hand on the wall with my hand or the heel of my hand shoulder height, might be enough for some of you to go, oh my gosh, even though it doesn't look bad, right? Once I'm here, what I'm going to do is start to traction this shoulder. Traction means I'm going to move my shoulder out of the joint. Not completely, but you get the idea. I'm going to open up that capsular space. How do I do that? This shoulder is going to push away from this hand. So the shoulder and the hand push away from each other, like so. It's a small movement. Again, that might be enough for you to go, oh my gosh. That's getting in the right position. Once I'm in that position, I'm going to start to rotate my arm. Not my hand. My hand stays fixated and I rotate my arm. And what that does is as I turn and twist it back and forth, it begins to what's called floss, in this case the radial nerve, which comes out of the neck, goes all the way down the arm into the thumb and the first two digits. Okay? All of the nerves and tendons and tissues that go through here are going to be getting stretched, relaxed, stretched, relaxed, stretched, relaxed. You might not feel it there. Most people won't feel it there, and that's okay. Where you feel it is not the issue. I'm usually really sensitive about your feelings, but for this particular exercise, I'm not. I just want you to do the exercise right, and where you feel it, I'll give that to you. Wherever you feel it's fine. Some people might feel it in the neck. Some people might feel it in the armpit. Some people in the elbow. Some people in the forearm or the wrist or the tips of their fingers. Doesn't matter. As long as you're doing the movement right. The entire nerve is getting floss. We're going this way and that. What does floss mean? Just like any other tissue in the body, you'll have other tissues that bind to it. Everyone's seen and heard of a foam roller, right? You roll on it to stretch your muscles. You really aren't stretching anything. What you're doing is you're breaking apart adhesions or sticky spots where some tissue has stuck to another tissue where it shouldn't. Okay, so we get on that foam roller, we find these very sensitive spots, and when tissues get stuck, they lose what? Motion and movement. And when we lose motion and movement, things don't feel good, right? All right, so once we're here, and my fingers are splayed, and my index finger is vertical, and I begin to separate my shoulders, or traction my right shoulder, what I'm going to do is turn my right elbow in one direction, and then the other. And as I do it, I'm trying to create or keep space in my shoulder joint, so I'm not leaning into the wall like this. Creating space in the shoulder joint, and you'll see the movement is relatively small. It looks insignificant. You'll also notice my posture is good. I'm not here. Good posture as I go through the motion. Turn this way, turn that way. More movement is not better. I don't care how much you move. I just want you to feel some stretch and some pull, if you will. Sometimes if you elevate your shoulder, you'll get more motion in the arm, so you feel like you're doing better. But you're not. You have gotten out of the exercise and created a different one that makes you feel better. You don't need to worry about your feelings. Keep your shoulder down, keep traction, and as you do it, go through the motion. If you move a lot, that doesn't mean you're better. If you move just a little bit, it doesn't mean you're worse. Just move a little bit, move a little bit. You will be governed by your sense of discomfort. You'll feel some. Sound good? So let's do this. I'll walk you through it from auditorily, but I want you all to find a wall. You probably fit 2 people here, maybe 1 there, and a couple of the others over there, or right on this wall right here. And I'll just walk you through it. It won't take long. Here's what we're going to do. For sake of time, we're just going to do one side. So if you have one side that tends to bother you more than the other, choose that side. If you don't know what side that is, use your dominant hand. As it goes through more work, it tends to have more problems with tissue. So you're exactly perpendicular to the wall, right? Your hands and your fingers, including your thumb, are as big as possible. Stretch your thumb out. And then you need to rotate your hand such that your index finger is vertical up the wall. So you might need to turn your entire hand. Once you're there and all of your knuckles are fully extended, I want you to imagine that you're pushing your opposite shoulder away from the wall. And as you do that, you'll feel your shoulder begin to sink down. You'll also start to feel some stretch. You'll also start to hear other people say, "Oh my gosh," by the way in which they're breathing. Yeah? Okay, it hurts. You know why it hurts? There's lots of tension there. So this is a great exercise for us. If you feel it already, that doesn't mean that you're bad. It means that you're going to benefit a lot from this. So Merry Christmas, right? So once you're here and your head is in good position and your fingers are totally splayed and your shoulder is tractioned and down, now just rotate your elbow in one direction a little bit and then go in the other direction just a little bit and then keep going back and forth. Now I see some of you have your thumb bent. Awesome. As you do it, continue to turn. You should be looking straight ahead. Straight ahead. Keep pushing yourself away from the wall as you're turning your elbow. Small movements. You might notice that you'll turn one way and you might feel more stretch than when you turn the other way. That's okay. It's going to be different for all of you. Your elbow should be fully straight, right? Otherwise, I know you're not pushing away from the wall.
And relax. Relax.
Relax everything that you can relax, but you can't relax everything because you do need to be putting some pressure
But I meant
through.
on the other side. Relax, because the more it hurts, the more tense.
Yes. Yeah. Try not to over tense because you feel discomfort. Okay, now to come out of this stretch, it's very important you do it slowly. Here's how you do it. Move towards the wall so that your elbow bends. Now you feel the tension go away, and then you can come out of it. Otherwise, what happens if you're here and you just quickly pull away, it's like snapping a rubber band on your nerves, and it's not ideal for tissue.
Oh, man,
Nerves are made to stretch, but they are not made to move quickly. Like a muscle will go stretch, contract really fast. Nerves are not made to do that. So when you pull on a nerve, which is wonderful at times, come out of it nice and slow because they move slow. Does that make sense?